Hey, what's going on? Awareness time, awareness time, awareness time, awareness time. What are we grateful for? What are we focusing on? What are we focusing on? What are we giving attention to? Happy Sunday. Let me see. I feel like for me, what I'm focusing on right now is just being aware that things don't always work, that things don't always go according to plan, and to be aware of how much power we can give to that or how much power we can take away from ourselves, and to be able to let go of control. Good afternoon. What's up, Scuds? Being able to be in the flow of life and not to be frustrated. And if you are frustrated, again, just remember life is made up in a way where it doesn't make any kind of sense. It's one big comedy skit. And so having that awareness can take away some of that pressure. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. So, for example, like I just posted a video. When I was in the last relationship that I was in, we tried to go to couples therapy and they wouldn't let us go into couples therapy because I was getting physically abused. And they said, you can't go to therapy until you fix this because it's going to get worse before it gets better. I said, oh, okay. So you're saying that we should make our relationship healthy and then go to therapy because there's a problem after we're, but wait, that's weird. I don't understand that. Are you guys hiring? Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Oh, the whole system is just completely and totally disintegrating. So this is the greatest time to be alive. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being part of this family. Again, my name is Nikki Scorpio. I am the introvert that speaks up. I've done many different things spiritually and holistically to crack my code. I share that information with you. The thing that I want to talk about today is that you make the rules. You have the perspective. You are the person who is going to be determining where your life is going to, whether or not you're aware of it. You've been choosing everything. Choosing everything. We're allowing everything to be as it is. We're allowing everything, like when our mind says this is how life is, we either accept that or we reject it. Why are comments being filtered? Well, typically the reason why comments get filtered is because there's people that wake up on Sundays and they just despise themselves and they go on to other people's live streams to try to attack their characters. So I like to have the unfiltered experience too. The problem is that there's a lot of people in this world that just don't like themselves and they just cannot seem to take responsibility for that. And everybody's in a different place. I'm good with the trolls. I'm okay with the trolls. There's just certain, for the most part, the words that I filter are based off of homophobia, based off of hate, based off of hurt, based off of people just using profanity and that kind of stuff. Thank you. I like you too. Thank you. Real recognizes real. So, again, remember this. You are choosing your perspective. You are making the rules. You are accepting the rules. You are accepting everything. Yes, that is my Instagram. Yes, absolutely. Message me. Yes, thank you so much. So when you're around people and you don't like how you feel, you are choosing to determine what your perspective, what your truth is, what you're going to do after you heard that other person tell you who you are or something about you that you like or you don't like. Yes, you write your own story. What's up, everybody? Thank you. You write your own story. You're choosing and you're allowing everything. And again, the greatest part about being alive is that when you have that awareness, you can start to see that there's another way for you to think and another way for you to choose what you're giving attention and power to. You're not enjoying society. Well, then what I would say, hey, thank you. And what I would say is that this is where you can stop in that moment and say, I don't like how things are going. What can I do with that information? Right? What can you do with that information? What can you do with the fact that you don't like how society is? What can you do? You have so many different options. The question is that I have for you is that once you've said like, this is how I want to think, The question is, can you do that consistently on the days that you don't want to? Like, can you just tell yourself right now that you actually like how society is going, because everything is getting to a place where we're having transparency, like in therapy, when you're in couples therapy or family therapy, regardless of if you like it or not, everybody gets to speak, everybody gets a chance to be heard, and that there's a lot of uh back and forth and understanding and things like that. So what we're doing right now on planet Earth is going into family therapy. We're going into couples therapy. What does my hat say? This is not financial advice. So what's up, everybody? So if you don't like your circumstances, what truth can you tell yourself that feels like a real truth? You tell me. What's something in your life that's frustrating you? Because again, for me, when I'm around people that frustrate me, my perspective is that person's teaching me. I like that. I like that as a truth. I like that as a perspective, right? Isn't that better than being frustrated that your mom isn't understanding you, or that your ex relationship isn't understanding you, or that your friends are being narcissistic and they're just mean and they're making fun of you now that you want to do things differently, or that the world is against you, or that like everything is going wrong in your life? Like, don't you want to have a different perspective? And truth is 100% in theory. Everything's in theory. So you can say that everything that's frustrating you is teaching you to have more patience. Wasn't there a time in your life where you're like, I don't like that I'm impatient, and you ask for patience? Is it possible that a narcissist can cause narcissistic traits in their partner? We can lose track of who we are. All about presentation. It has to dress a certain way, walk and talk a certain way, that the communication has to be a certain way, and that a lot of the main ingredient with narcissistic relationships is about being in control. So you might find yourself changing your character and going out of character because you just don't want to get in arguments with that person, right? You have too much patience? I don't think there's such a thing. I think that I have tons of patience. I have more patience than a hospital full of monks. Okay, the difference is that I know my worth and I know my value, and I speak my boundaries into existence. And if somebody doesn't like who I am, then I've already set my boundaries as the people who I love in my life, who I'm giving attention to, love me as I am, celebrate me as I am. And if they don't, that's fine. I take responsibility for my actions. I hold myself accountable. I know what I'm doing even when it looks like I don't. I like those. I like those guidelines. Right? I don't think that I'm the chosen one. I don't think that I'm special. I don't think people in my life should treat me differently because of X amount of followers or whatever the circumstances are from outside people looking into my life. It's just, I want to enjoy my life. I want to be able to have a perspective in my life that takes me where I want to go, because I was able to have happiness in chaos when I was a child. And I feel like I should be able to have happiness and be able to have peace as an adult. You know? I want to enjoy my life. I don't want to, I want to know what it's like. I want to know that, like, don't you feel like, this is what I used to say when I was getting into relationships. Like, I have so much love. I have so much love. And even though I was in a relationship for almost a decade, I feel like there was levels of love that she never got to experience. Hey, thank you, La Loca. Thank you. I feel like there was a whole side of me that she didn't get access to, because I was constantly in this space of like, are you hunting for problems? Are you hunting for drama? Like, are you searching for chaos? Like, why can't we just enjoy our relationship? Like, why can't we just consistently enjoy our relationship? Some people deliberately create chaos because all they've known is chaos, and they keep on recreating chaos because peace feels weird and uncomfortable. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the double taps. The double taps help bring in more people like yourself. Don't you want to live in a world where we can have these conversations instead of, hi, how are you doing? I'm fine. Right? Right? Let me see. I'm in a strange relationship with brother, not sure if I want to fix it. Well, that's the thing. And a lot of people are working on family relationships. Drop an emoji or say yes if you've been trying in the past couple months or in the past year to work on family relationships, and it's either not going how you want it to go, or you're realizing that there's a lot of effort that's required. A lot of people are working on that. Family is very, very complicated. And again, if you're and when you're going to keep on going down and trying to pick people up that don't want to be picked up. Some people don't want to experience the levels of happiness that you want to experience in this lifetime. And that's not a bad thing. It's only a bad thing because society taught you to say, "Oh, my heart's broken for them. Oh, that's so sad for them. Oh, that's so sad that they're actually like just doing what they naturally do." It's not sad. It's their choice. It's their choosing. Life works differently than we've been programmed to be believed, et cetera, so on and so forth. Right? Like some people don't want to have the level of love that you want to have. Some people are just really, really, really profound teachers, and it's up to like I was telling somebody yesterday, like the more frustrated that I get with other people's actions, the more that I put into what we're building. The more that I don't like what other people are doing, the more that I put into something that gives me excitement. That's where I can stream live. That's where I can do coaching sessions. That's where I can talk with people. That's where I can focus on building what I'm building and doing what I'm doing. Because like every single time I talk to this person, I get negativity, I get frustration, I get problems and problems and problems. And then I go over here and I look at this world and I'm like, ooh, look, there's a solution. There's a solution. I'm chasing the excitement. I'm like a child. Some of you wait, hold on, let me see. I saw a belief. See, I love beliefs. I love beliefs because you can change your beliefs. Nobody likes to see someone else win if they're not winning also. I would say for the most part, I would say yeah for the most part. However, I just think it comes down to your spirit. I think that for me, when I was working jobs, when I was in poverty, when I was stuck, when I felt frustrated, I loved to see people win. And there was still, even though I've always been an optimistic person, still I would look at other people and say, why do they get to travel? Why do they get to do that? Why do they get to look that way? Why can't I look that way? Why can't I think that way? Why can't I be that way? Why don't I get friends like that? Why? Like the professional victim member of the victim, whatever. Like that was my life. There was no accountability until I realized that it was up to me to change my circumstances, and it's up to you too. And again, I do it from a place of I can't be ashamed of my age. I can't be ashamed of human circumstances. Like I don't know what's going to happen in the future. And so everything that's happening right now, it's up to me to reinterpret, for me to convince myself. Like, can you convince yourself that everything's working in your favor? And if so, how can you do that with things that would frustrate you before? And how can you do that with the people that you don't want to? Like, how can you enjoy being around people who are putting you down? How can you turn that into a game? How can you do that? Being around. I'm asking you, how can you turn the coworkers, the boss, the relationship, the thing that you're going through that's annoying you that you don't want to think about? How can you turn that into this is a test and this is leveling me up and teaching me something so that I can have more communication and more power and more peace and more loving relationships and get an opportunity from this thing that's driving me crazy? Let me see what's going on. I see some comments in here. Let me see. The winners tend to look down on the unfortunate. Maybe you need to hang out with some different winners. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you. Let me see. I want to see. When a lot of people are dealing with setting boundaries with their moms and with their dads and with the people that raised them. For me, I want to enjoy my life, and I've done a lot to get to this place, and I just want for you to know that there's always going to be something. Like some people will think, oh, if I had $5 million that I would be better, and then somebody could come into your life and say, hey, I don't like the way that you spoke to me, I'm going to sue you for $10 million. And then what are you going to do with that information? People think that it's going to get better at a certain point. It gets better when you choose it. It gets better when you choose it. I love being around people who disagree with me because I can find a connection. I've turned it into a game. Whereas before, I would just get frustrated. And we live in a society where people either really like what they're doing or they don't like what they're doing and they get frustrated. I can hang out, I can have conversations with people who flat out despise me. I can have conversations with people on here who are trolls and turn them into being like, you know what, let me watch what you're saying, because some of the stuff you're saying is kind of wonky, it's kind of whack, and it's cheesy to me. However, you seem like you're a good person. Let me actually listen to what you're saying. And that they message me and say like, oh, I didn't like you at first, but I see what you're doing, and I respect it. Like, you'd be surprised how many people are just automatic pilot living their life and just have on their movie projectors of, it's cheesy if you're happy, it's cheesy if you're authentic, it's cheesy if you cry, it's corny if you show your feelings, if you talk about anything that's real. You'd be surprised how many people around you will laugh at you and mock you and tease you when you say that you want to do something different that's out of the ordinary from a broken society. Thank you. You would be surprised at how people around you think, that you'd get frustrated about their perspectives and how they treat you or don't treat you. You wouldn't be giving the same effort to other people around you if you knew how much they hated themselves and how much they just keep on saying life is unfair and nobody understands me, and just flat out not liking that you're doing something different because they just don't have the courage. They don't have the courage. They don't have the courage. I can hang out with people, somebody on here is talking about politics. I can hang out with people from both sides politically. But most people who are into politics are two left wings or two right wings. We're every single human being on earth wants to feel safe, wants to feel protected, and wants to feel like they have a purpose and that they have love in their life. And we mock people because they're coming from a different angle, because they're taught by broken people. And my biggest issue, and what I'm actually working on, instead of just clicking an angry emoji, is finding ways to bring people together, to tell the Democrat to get along with the Republican, to tell the nonpartisan person to get along with the people who are Democratic and Republican, to understand that, like, if you walked in their shoes, you would think exactly like them too. And you're not ready for that conversation because you want to control everything. And we're not doing that. Planet Earth has been in an abusive relationship. We're changing it. People get triggered by the conversations. People get annoyed when somebody's just writing in a response right now. I can feel it. People don't even question their frustrations and their annoyances. For me, like, everything is a lesson. Once you start to see results, once you start to get people in your life that really do love you and really do celebrate you, then and once you start to realize, like, you get that click feeling when you do that spiritual awakening. Thank you. When you start to see the results and you start to actually feel the benefits, you want to do more. You want to see other people win. There's a balance. People think that you have to take care of everybody else in your life. I thought exactly like that. I took care of myself first. Now I love myself. I'm good with feeling insecure when I get on these live streams. I'm good with not liking my self-image all the way. I'm okay with that. I'm not ashamed of that. In fact, if anything, it helps people relate and me relate to other people. I don't ever want for myself to look at myself and be like, yep, I'm like I'm the most attractive. Like, I don't want to get to that space. I know that I'm a good person. I know that I'm a loving person. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't love myself in this way. It took me momentum. It took me time to be able to actually forgive myself for how hard I was, and to reinterpret everything. And it's a process, and it requires patience. And most people don't have the patience to invest in themselves and love themselves. Most people just want to be right over and over and over again. And I no longer want to be right. That's why I'm okay when people put me down. So your mom told you you're her least favorite child, and what a POS that you've always been. Good. We love being POSs because that helps fertilize the garden. Can you imagine? I'm telling you, yo, if you had like 5 minutes, if you have 5 minutes in your mom's head, or whoever is frustrating you right now, if you have 5 minutes in their head, you'd be like, why am I 1% upset by this? Why am I 0.00001% affected by this when this person isn't even, they're not even listening to you? It's like a filtration system where it's like, if the belief system doesn't match, it goes down one conveyor belt. If the belief system does match, it goes down another conveyor belt. Like, people who aren't doing the work, it doesn't click, it doesn't connect. And again, are you going to sit there? Are you going to focus? I'm not saying that you are affected by it. Maybe you've already been doing a lot of work so you can just laugh at it and whatnot. And yeah, maybe it'll always hurt for the rest of your life. For me, where I go to when I have family members who put me down and mock me and tease me, is I put more effort into these live streams. I put more effort into the DMs that I get, more effort into the community that I've been building off of being completely and totally vulnerable and not following any trends and just wanting community. I put more effort into loving myself and healing myself. The past week, man, like, I've been meditating meditating and I've been doing ceremony and I've been crying and releasing and burping and releasing stuff. Like I've been like, when you do ceremony, when you hang out with shamans, when you hang out with healers, it's like you don't realize how much pain you have that is an energy form. You can literally, it feels like you're throwing up energy. Drop an emoji or say yes if you understand what I'm talking about. I've been doing that the past week specifically, like really for a while now, but hyper focus. I've been doing a lot of work and a lot of healing, and I've literally been purging. Like it feels like I'm throwing up air. Like there's no food. It's just like, it's just disgusting, toxic, traumatizing, difficult stuff that there's layers and there's layers and there's layers. And I enjoy when it happens, even though it's frustrating when it happens. Hey, thank you. That afterwards, when I cry, when I have a hidden emotion come up, when I have a trapped memory come up, when I have some trauma come up, I love that because I know I'm gonna be more clear. And that's why people tell me that they're like, oh, your energy looks like it's improving, like you look healthier, you look more tuned in. It's because I'm behind the scenes. All I'm doing is healing. I'm good with being by myself. I hated being that way before. Where tonight is a full moon, and it's about being able, that's why these emotions and the fire and all these different things are coming up right now. So when you're talking about how people won't show you the love that you're looking for, just thank them because they taught you how to love and how not to love. They taught you how to be and how not to be. Thank you for the follows. They're teaching you what to do and what not to do. They're teachers. I love teachers. I love learning. I love knowing. Listen, hear me, please. The greatest thing about planet Earth, the greatest thing about being alive is that you can believe whatever you want to. You can. It's not cheesy. It's not cliched. It's true. You can believe whatever you want to about your life. Like you could just be, your life could be a book, your life could be a movie, and you could be the director, and you're like, all right, this is the scene now where you're 60 years old and you're going to become the main character and everything's going to work in your favor and you're going to give people the best energy you've ever experienced and you're going to let your family members be miserable and be frustrated and do their own thing, and you're going to focus on yourself and use TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and Facebook as education platforms. You're going to find new ways to make money. Yo, there's 80-year-old women who are learning how to DJ right now. Like, what are you doing? Like, really, truly, look it up. There was like a grandma who was like 80 years old in Japan DJing. Like, you can reinterpret everything. The turn point though is that you choose to believe it over and over and over again, and you hold yourself accountable and you take responsibility for those moments where you're not thinking that way. When somebody puts you down, you immediately go to a place of, that person isn't going where I'm going. It doesn't match. You want to be grateful. You want to have gratitude. You want to have loving people around you. So you lead yourself. You show yourself. No, I don't care that they're yelling at me. I don't care that they're putting me down. I like this process. I like believing in myself. I love making mistakes. Are you around people who put you down when you make mistakes, who are perfectionists? Like, isn't that exhausting? Isn't that annoying? That's where you set boundaries. It's on you to set the boundary to say, I understand that you don't know this, that you don't like this, that you don't get this. I like who I am. I like how I think. I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed. I love you. Allow me to show you a different way. I'm taking a path that you haven't taken before. That's why you love me, because I'm different. I think differently. Mom, dad, girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, husband, wife. I think differently. I'm doing something that you haven't experienced before. Trust me. Trust me. And it's on you to trust yourself, even when you feel shaky, even when you go back to, I don't want to hurt their feelings, and their emotions and reactions are really big. You're both feeling insecurity. It's just because you want love and you're looking for it externally and you feel insecure and you've had abandonment issues, you will put their insecurities over yours, thinking that if you take care of them, that everything will be better, when it's really about, like, you need to believe in yourself more and choose to believe in yourself more. You're not responsible when people get angry. It's not your fault that they get angry. It doesn't matter how big it is. It doesn't matter what your mom and dad taught you about what a wife looks like, what a husband looks like, what a girlfriend or boyfriend looks like. No, it's on you to take care of yourself, for you to value yourself first. It's on you to interpret everything that's happening. Because again, if you're not happy, if you think somebody's miraculously going to change your day and change your perspective, you don't know what your limited beliefs are. You don't know what your trauma beliefs are. You don't know what your trauma truths are. You don't know how insecure you are. If somebody came up to you and said that thing that you don't want to talk about, you still allow people to take away your power. You still don't understand that they're miserable. What state am I in now, Nevada? Hey, thank you, Tim's. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. I'm glad this resonates. I just want for you to see there's a different perspective, and I want for you to feel like there's other people outside of the people that are around you. I understand that it's frustrating. I understand that it's annoying. I understand people are obnoxious. But again, you can reinterpret everything. You can interpret your whole entire life. Like, you can tell yourself that you're going to get a level up, and you can believe it, and you can go out into the world and know that information, and you don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to tell anyone in your family what you're doing. You do not need to stop and block your momentum and every bit of excitement that you have because somebody doesn't get what you're doing. How on earth do you ever think that you are going to build your or develop yourself or your self-love or your company or your business, your thing, when you have somebody around you who's negative, who's angry, who mocks you, who teases you, who looks at you behind the scenes with 99? I don't care if somebody doesn't if you don't 1% believe in me, get away. If it's 99%, meaning if it's 99% I believe in you and there's 1% like, nah, you're gonna fail. I don't want to be around that energy. I want to be around people that can communicate with me, that can be transparent, that can understand that I'm doing the best that I can with the information that I have and can find solutions, because I like solutions. I find solutions for people all the time. And again, I will always take responsibility and hold myself accountable. However, I can't read minds. It's not my fault if somebody doesn't communicate. If somebody doesn't want to tell me why they're frustrated. When I was going on this road trip from Manhattan, just traveling around, the person I was on the road trip with originally, I told them this exact same conversation. Tell me when you don't like that I do something. Tell me. I won't attack you. I won't yell at you. I won't scream at you. I won't put you down. I want to know that you feel comfortable. I want to know that you feel safe and you feel heard. And they said, okay. And they didn't do it. And then they would get frustrated, and they would, because they just wanted my attention and my energy. And I'm like, you had I'm telling you, this is that moment. Like, you didn't communicate with me. I can't read minds yet. Okay. I'm not responsible for the fact that you're frustrated. You had every opportunity to communicate with me. I love to take responsibility. I used to be stubborn because that's what Scorpios do when we start off. I love holding myself accountable. I love taking responsibility. I love when somebody can see a blind spot within me that I wasn't aware of, because I want to connect with people. That's why I'm here. I love being a storyteller, and I love hearing people's stories, right? You're not responsible for the fact that other people don't know how to communicate. And if you're somebody who doesn't know how to communicate, the first time, this is the secret to it, is you can't think that you know how they're going to respond. If you already think somebody's going to react or yell or hit you or hurt you or yell at you or put you down or mock you or tease you when you speak your truth, like, you're setting yourself up for that. You are choosing to live in that world. And if you already think that they're going to respond and react in a certain way, then call it out. Call it out. Call it out. I want to have a conversation with you like I did with my mom, where it's like she loves what I'm doing, she celebrates what I'm doing, and there's also a part of her that thinks that I think that I'm better than other people, which is crazy. I'm like, you created me, right? You saw my progress. You see what I'm going through. You had every opportunity to talk to me and communicate with me. And I had a conversation with her to say, like, I feel like when I tell you what I'm doing, when I'm working with people, I feel like there's a part of you that thinks that I think that I'm better than other people, or that like you look at what I'm doing and that I'm traveling and you get frustrated because you can't travel, and I can pick up on the frustration in your voice and how you communicate with me, and saying things like, oh, it must be nice, and telling me that I think that I'm better than other people. That makes me not want to communicate with you, which is frustrating because I love you and you're my mom and I care about you, and I don't want to feel this way when I'm around you. I don't want to have that thought in my mind of the person who created me is judging me. And so if that's how it's going to be, that's fine. It's just when you talk to me, you're going to get a hi, how are you doing? Instead of let me actually tell you what I'm up to and talk to you about the excitement. Because if you can't relate, then we're wasting time. And I can still love you from a distance, right? Some of you are meant to have parents that are just mean, that are just nasty, that are just teachers for you, that are amazing teachers. So that if you choose to have children or don't choose to have children, that you can parent yourself, that you can have your own perspective, and you can be a healer and a teacher for other people like myself who didn't have that information, who are a step behind you. Some of us are not meant to have the Walt Disney relationship and all that different stuff because we're meant to be really, really powerful teachers. And it's not a sad thing. Some of us are just meant to know what that's like. And that person, I'm telling you, man, like they hate themselves. So how can you turn that into a game? If you don't like how your dad, for example, you say it's your dad. If you don't like how your dad speaks to you, then you can use that as an opportunity to say this person is always going to think this way and they're going to go to this space. So I want to try a new approach with them, or I want to see somebody who reminds me of my dad, and have conversations with them to see if they disagree with me, if I can make a friend with them, or if I can have compassion and show them a different way, if I can show them love that they've never received before. We can always turn it into a game. I'm telling you, the more frustrated I get at my circumstances, the more energy I put into something that excites me, or the more I put into why am I so triggered by that? Why am I so affected by that? Why am I so hurt by that person's words? How was I? Again, it's fascinating, isn't it? Besides the fact that it hurts your feelings, isn't it interesting that you're in a good mood and something happens and then you're not? This live stream is going to be recorded. It's going to be on my YouTube. We're also on Facebook, and we're also on Twitter at the same time, because the amazing moderator Jenny Ann is on here and she's helping me. So thank you for that. You're going to, I want to see if anybody's already done this, where you started doing work on yourself and you started getting around your family members and relationships and people and friends in your life, and you started speaking differently because you fell more in love with yourself and started valuing yourself more, and that you started seeing that they were surprised, or they weren't used to it, or they were having uncomfortable laughing, like nervous laughter, or they just didn't know what to do with their energy. People see you like you're 12 years old. It doesn't matter if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. The people in your family still think that you're children, and they still think that you're the failure, and they still think that you're the addict, and they still think that you're insecure, and they still think that you're going to mess up again. villain. That's why you don't need to tell people what you're up to, because they're boxing you in this category that doesn't belong in your definition. Right, you're 50 years old. I get it. Yeah, there's people that are 60, 70, 80, 90 years old that are still walking around with unprocessed emotions and trauma and thinking the world's messed up. There's nothing wrong with them. Okay, got you. Yeah, this is going to be on YouTube and Twitter. Amazing. Coworkers too. Like, again, what can you redefine in your life? What can you reinterpret in your life? How can you go to a job where you don't like the people that you work with? How can you turn that into a game? How can you hold on, let me see. No one wants to be the villain. Yeah. How can you turn what you're going through into an opportunity to grow, to evolve? Again, if you have a job that you don't like, just take this mantra, just take this motto with you. I work like I own the company. I work like I own the company. How can you, like, my game is when I get around my family, I just want to leave on neutral grounds. My brother doesn't even allow people, like my brother and my sister-in-law, like, they don't even invite people into their home because it's messy. Like, they can't even have company over. That's crazy. I love my mom. I love my mom. My mom and I are on good terms. My other mom too, because in case you just met me, I was raised by lesbians. I am the gay agenda. Unconditional love. My birth father was gay too. I'm an artificial insemination. I'm different. Unconditional love. Right? Like, people are always going to have opinions about you. Some people are just not going to like their circumstances, and they're just going to see you. Your light is the brightest thing around them. They're moths. Okay? You're the light and they're moths. They don't know what to do with your light. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with it. It's okay that people don't like you. It's okay. Again, I have a question for you. If you're frustrated that your family doesn't like what you're doing, why is it a bad thing? Why is it frustrating? Because society told you that you should be a happy family, and because your life doesn't look good for other people, you're frustrated. The only reason you're frustrated is because other people are seeing who you are, and other people are going to have opinions about you. And if you can understand how deep that is and how powerful and how simple that is, you can actually do something with that information. I'm really, 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 really okay. Like I told my other mom, like, I don't need for you to understand everything that I'm doing. It's just when I talk to you, I'm always getting that there's something wrong with what I'm doing, and I don't see anything wrong with what I'm doing. You don't like what I'm doing because your generation said life is hard, you have to work, and you have to stay employed, and you have to work for 50 years, and you have to retire and get a gold watch and then retire retire for 10 years and then, pass away. And I'm not going to live that way. I don't hate my life. I love what I'm doing. I love who I am. You need to speak up for yourself and stand up for yourself and speak with conviction when you talk to people. And especially the biggest person you need to convince is yourself. We must convince and choose to and want to convince ourselves that we know what we're doing. So how can you do that? I'm just like you. I'm just like you. My thing is I will not be ashamed or embarrassed about who I am. Sure, there's moments where I get insecure, or if I'm out in a public setting, I'm watching other people, I'm reading their energy. I'm not the most confident person in the room. I'm not. I'm an introvert. When I'm not talking about this conversation, I'm watching people, I'm studying people, I'm learning. You're real. Thank you. Takes one to know one. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the compliments. Thank you for the gifts. I want for you to feel like you have somebody in your corner. I want for you to be like, yo, like, I really feel like I know this kid. I want for you to understand that there's more of us out there. We exist. But my secret ingredient is just I'm consistent. And I'm consistent even when it feels inconsistent. Like, for example, 3 days ago, for 3 days, or was it 2 days ago? What is time? I don't know. What year is it? Where are we? What dimension are we in? My point is to say, for 3 days in a row, I was tired. And it's frustrating because I love these live streams. I love connecting with you. I love to look down and I see like 3 different conversations, 4 or 5 different conversations, people making friends, people doing business, people making money. Like, I love that. I love to see people win. I believe in humanity. I believe in the goodness of humankind, right? I couldn't get on the lives. I just didn't have the energy for it. I was exhausted. I was wiped out. And again, I'm not financially in a place where I can really just chill out and take a lot of breaks. However, I can though, and I'm not going to burn myself out and exhaust myself and force myself to do something. I'm going to work smart behind the scenes, and I'm going to check in with those beliefs, and I'm going to check in with myself so that I'm good, because I don't want to live in a world where I'm ungrateful for what I have, because people would trade places with me. And it doesn't matter where you're at and what your life is. It doesn't matter if you live in a trailer. I guarantee you somebody would trade places with you. You need to convince. You don't need to do anything. You choose to. We choose to convince yourself that you're killing it, that you're thriving, that you are the leader, that you're the hero. And that's on you to convince yourself. So if you don't believe it, I'm still going to get sleep. They're still going to get sleep. The world's going to keep on spinning. Life is going to keep on going, whether you love yourself or not. Somebody's not going to miraculously just knock on your door and say, like, okay, you deserve to have a break now. It's on you to stand up for yourself, to speak up for yourself. And again, what are you interpreting? What are things? Take notes or don't, but what are things in your life that you are interpreting it as, oh, God, I have to fix the car. I have to do this. I have to clean my house. Oh, I have to take care of the kids. Oh, they're so annoying. Oh, my ex is so annoying. Oh, this person's so annoying. Like, what if the person who's annoying you, what if you're grateful that you don't have to be around them 24/7, 365? Somebody's annoyed by that phrase. I know, I get it. How can you flip what's frustrating you? To be curious, to be intrigued, to say, I'm going to go in and I'm going to approach this from a different angle. Right? How can you reinterpret what you're going through? You think that somebody's not going to be in a relationship with you because you're this way, because you're that way, because you speak this way, because you're this way and that way and this way and that way? Like, if you're frustrated at all about the relationship you're in or not in or whatever, like, who wants to be around that? If you are annoyed by society, if you are annoyed by how humans are right now, like, where is that going to take you? If you're frustrated by how humans are behaving right now, then do something about it. Or just understand the fact that people think differently. And you cannot control people, because this is what people do. I hate the fact that you don't think how I think. You should think how I think, because if you thought how I thought, then I wouldn't have to critically think about why you're frustrated. Oh, you missed that? Okay, let me slow it down. We as human beings get frustrated because other people don't think the way that we think. More so that we can't control them. We want to control everything. We want to control how our animals behave, how our relationships are, how our home looks, how people perceive us, our perspectives, how our job is, how much money we make. Everything. We want to control it so we don't have to think about it, because if we have to actually critically think about our lives and why we're unhappy or why we're frustrated or why we're not making as much money or whatever nonsense, right? Right. You get to clean your house. You ask for a house, you got it. You ask for a room for rent. You ask for a trailer. You ask to live in a mansion. You asked for that. You asked for it. You want to control it, though. You want for it to always feel good. You want to always feel happy. But how do you develop your character if you're always happy? If life is always good, if everything's always perfect, if you're comfortable, why would you ever want to change? Some people are meant to not change. Earth signs have a hard time being around water signs, because earth signs are like, nope, I'm a rock. And a water sign is like, I'm just gonna flow around over here, and I'm just gonna move these rocks out the way, and I'm just gonna reshape this rock, and I'm just gonna go down this mountain over here. And the rock's like, oh my God, how are you doing that? That's scary. We're not meant to get along with everybody. It's just not gonna happen. Earth signs have a challenging time being around water signs, and vice versa. Right? So that's where it's more so of like, the more, do you understand what I'm saying now when I say the more you know yourself, the more that you know who you are and why you're doing what you're doing, that you become okay with other people not getting you. You're okay with suffering? I don't believe in suffering. I don't believe in the concept of suffering. And when people say things of like, I have to struggle, or the struggle is real, or something like that, you're romanticizing suffering and struggling. I don't acknowledge its existence. That's implying that if I don't feel happy, that I'm a failure. Now I can't even enjoy my process. I want to live in a world where we have elders, where we have a different perspective, where it's honorable for you to do the work, where it's honorable for you to be awkward. Or we could just live in this impossible beauty standard. Everything has a filter, everything's affected, everything has to be perfect and edited, short attention span, lifestyle, abusive relationship. We are interpreting everything. We're human interpretation devices. That's all we do every single day. As soon as you walk out, a woman walks down the street, and an elderly woman looks at you, and you're like, oh, she's looking at me because I'm this way. The person drives by and looks at you, you're like, they're looking at me because I'm this way. Or somebody walks by you and looks at you, and you're like, I don't like the fact that that person's looking at me because I am this way. My outfit looks this way. My skin looks this way. My hair looks that way. I look this way. This person is this way because this thing is this way. This person should be this way. And if that person isn't that way, then I'm going to be this way because life is this way and this is that way. Over and over again, although we do. And you can change it. It's just being able to slow down. It's being able to stop. It's being able to pause and not look at slowing down as death. Hey, social butterfly, nice to see that. Glad to hear that. I love seeing people win. I love how people in this family level up and win. Let me see some of these comments. Word, exactly. That's the question. Are you happy? Are you happy? I'm definitely, I feel like I might be the most optimistic person that I know. I'm not always happy. I would say that I'm optimistic. I would say that I'm hopeful. Right now, I'm happy. I'm excited. Happiness, I feel like, and patience are correlated. Where do I live? In the present moment. Like that little spiritual joke. I'm traveling. I'm residing. I'm living with my friend and with my moderator, with Jen, who's on here. I'm in Nevada. My whole entire life is one big free fall. Nothing makes sense in my life. I am living in inconsistency and being consistent within that inconsistency. Whew. A lot of deep breathing. How do I handle people who want to see me fail. I had somebody that I've helped out a lot in my life, and recently, about 3 weeks ago, they sent me a text message from some screenshot they posted, just putting people down. They have mental health issues, and they were mocking me and putting me down and calling me all different types of names. It was a brand new phone number because they just keep on getting new phone numbers and creating new social media accounts. It's a very weird relationship dynamic thing with this person. I just did block and report as spam. I'm like, this doesn't match where I'm going. I'm not obligated to respond to a person who loves me and then like wants to put down my character and then tell, like, very 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 bipolar. And I get that that's a complicated thing. It's just we have to pick and choose our battles. I choose my battles. And because I had to struggle when I was younger and I had to suffer, that was a story that I have. I'm very aware of when I'm battling, because if you've had a hard life, if you've been traumatized, if you've been taken advantage of, then you have to be strong. And when you have to be strong, you can't have real relationships because you're always having to battle. I'm not going to battle anymore. I'm not going to suffer anymore. I'm not going to struggle anymore. I'm not always on point, and I'm okay with that. I just, if somebody's not going to like me, if somebody's going to talk about me, that's because they see your energy. That's why they do that. That's why people put you down. That's why people stare. That's why people look at you, because they're looking at you like you don't know who you are. You're not aware at the very root of who you are. You don't see your power. You don't see your strength. What are you doing? Believing this other person who's annoying. What are you doing in these circumstances? You could have more. That's why they're looking at you. I'm okay with people having perspectives about me. And again, that's why I like that I'm a good person, because there's no secrets. I mean, as human beings, we all have secrets, right? Like there's all things that we don't really walk up to somebody and say, hey, what's going on? I was taken advantage of. You? Okay, cool. What I'm saying though is that like you can do all the research you want to on me. You're not, and if you say, wow, like you do this or you did this or you did that, I'll be like, yep, yes, yes, I did. Yep, I'm a Scorpio. Yes, I did that. Yep, not ashamed of that. Yep, learn my lesson. Yep, take responsibility. Yep, hold myself accountable. All of that. Next, I love that. I love knowing who I am and owning who I am in a world where people are constantly trying to change you and tell you who you are and telling you that they're offended or they didn't like things or whatever. Like everybody's in a good mood until they're not. And when they're not in a good mood, people want for you to feel how they feel. People deliberately go out of their way to hurt you, to attack you, to do things to teach you a lesson, not realizing what they're manifesting and they're creating. I refuse to be miserable. You're not trying anything. You're doing it. Who do I confide in? Who do I trust? I have people like Jen, who I'm staying with. I confide in her. I talk with her. I have conversations with her. There's people on my Instagram. There's people I met from TikTok that are genuine people that are really really friends that have really good intentions that really want to see me win in the same way I want to see them win. It's just I can't talk to my family about what I do because they don't relate. My family doesn't relate to what I do. They don't understand it. They don't get it. My sister-in-law told me I look like I'm strung out when I like one day randomly when we got into some weird argument because she's like, you think you're better than other people. And my friends think you look strung out. I'm like, that's a really interesting thing to say to somebody. It's a really interesting comment to say to somebody. I personally don't hang out with people who are strung out, so I personally can't relate to that. But you take all of that with you because I feel like I look like somebody who's been through an abusive relationship and didn't want to be alive and got bullied and teased and put down and dealt with homophobia because his parents identified it in the LGBTQ plus community. And I'm tired of injustice, race, about miserable, a block tech rate takes one to know one. I'm grateful that my words on TV and films. I think left different. I'm not afraid. I take them. I manifest. Never had one day, and that's love and like to ruin your opportunities because you still believe. I'm not taking note of what he's saying. I'm ignoring it as it's a process. Just hear it's over. And he's like, well, there's gonna be bumps, and I'm like, over it. Just to make was stupid. Some of you are really, really, really option for me. I came into this world when I was 4, 5, 6 years old, telling my mom how life worked, how the universe worked, how the world worked. Like, thank you, Patricia, for the donation. Thank you for the Cash App. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Hey, what's up, Dan? It's exhausting. It's exhausting living in this world that doesn't make any sense. And the reason why it doesn't make any sense is because they leave out crucial information. Your parents put you on drugs. I think it's time to set boundaries with the parents. Wait till their next lifetime. People, that's why there's some people that don't want to have kids. Like my ex's sister went to somebody, same kind of thing, didn't know anything about her and just came in and was like, yeah, you're not going to have children in this lifetime, because she never wanted children. She was like, I'm never going to have kids. That's never going to happen. She was opposed from like the first moment she could talk, that she didn't want to have kids. And this woman came into her life and was like, yeah, you're not going to have children because you were a terrible mother in your last lifetime. So it's not going to happen for you this time. Like, there's stuff that when you go to people who are really good at what they do, that's why you're like, oh, I don't have depression. Oh, there's actually nothing wrong with the fact that my bank account is where it's at and why I'm this age and I'm living in these circumstances. I'm actually where I'm supposed to be. Who would have thought? There's a different way to look at this. I'm just encouraging you to keep on doing the truth-seeking journey, because the more that you learn about ancient wisdom and shamanism and healing and ceremony and stuff like that, like everything that's frustrating you in your life will make sense. But see, you know what it is though, Tams, is that that's the game. That we miss not knowing, because when we cross over, we have access to everything. We don't feel pain. We don't suffer. It doesn't exist. We actually miss to see if you can have the courage to pick yourself up, if you can have the courage to fall in love with yourself, if you can be around people. Like, again, you might have been born into a family where everybody attacked everybody. It's life is a comedy skit. You'll talk to people who are really good in this world, and they'll be like, yeah, you, your mom, your dad, and your sister or your brother, you were all in a war together, or you all, one of them like hurt the other person, and so now you're all gonna be family, so that you have to get along to see if you can change that contract. Can I point you to some good information about it? Yeah, you can follow people like my moderator, Jenny Ann. You can check out Shaman Durek, Durek. You can, you can go onto TikTok and type in reincarnation and see where that takes you. You can type in stuff like soul contracts. You can, you can go down the journey. You can subscribe to the Gaia Network, which I think is like $13 a month. GAIA. What's his name? Van Diedrich, who's on there. You can follow people like Forbidden Knowledge, the number Forbidden Knowledge. His name is Billy Carson. He's really intelligent, really brilliant. I met him before. So I believe in modern witchery. I believe that the most mainstream religion borrowed from witchery. I think that paganism and Wicca have been hustled, and I think that anybody who puts those religions down and those practices down needs to do their research. There was goddess in the Bible, and they ripped that out. Do you know that? Do you know that? That there was God and goddess, and that goddess was ripped out and removed from the Bible? Are you ready for that conversation? Christianity borrowed from Wicca, borrowed from paganism, borrowed from Egypt. You see how the numbers change after telling that truth? Exhausting. Exhausting living in a world where we get hustled, we get gaslit, like we get mentally and verbally abused by people that tell us that we're absolutely crazy. It's like that's even in politics. It's the level of hypocrisy that goes on. It's like you have these people from a certain side, doesn't matter because we're not going to divide. You have people in politics that are mocking, wanting to give people more money and more opportunity, and they deliberately want to block that from happening, and then they're going behind the scenes asking for money. The same people who are saying you can't have money. It's like, this is what I'm saying, like, this is why I love being alive right now, because you're gonna realize like you are being led by a bunch of 5-year-olds in suits and ties. Like, it's crazy. And if you really use this app for research, and if you really do your own research, you will see the stuff that's been declassified, the documents that they talk about now. This is why I love like everything that's, you can, what could make hunger completely and totally go away. They have that information. You can go on to TikTok right now. You can go on to YouTube. You can look around on the internet, and you can find the blueprint for how to turn so that your car can run on water, so that your car can run on vegetable oil. Like there's people on here that are teaching all different types of things. It's astounding what's possible on planet Earth, and we're getting to that place where they can't hide it anymore. Right. So, seek the truth. If you really, that's why I like the Gaia Network. Like if you really believe in God, then watch the Gaia Network. Because they'll tell you the truth. Can people put spells on you for revenge? I feel like my theory on stuff like that is that if you have an insecurity, if you have a deep insecurity, then people can energetically attack you. And that's where I like I had Shaman Durek on here a little while ago, and he was talking about that. He's like, in African shamanism, an entity isn't a bad thing. It's not like, oh, there's the devil and that's Satan and stuff like that. It's not like that. That spirit is connecting with you to be a teacher, to teach you a lesson. I like that. I like where that takes me instead of this like boogeyman. If you really, really do your research, you'll realize the whole evil, DEVIL, all that triple number six, all that different stuff, all of that is a hustle. All of that is misinformation, misinterpretation, people just telling little boogeyman stories. Like the devil was just a boogeyman story, that the original version, and it's even misspelled. It's SATAM, and that entity just didn't like humanity, and it's connected to another deity that did like humanity. Like we've just every single thing about planet Earth is a hustle. Seek the truth, man. Make life a game. It's exhausting. It's exhausting being frustrated that your family puts you down and mocks you and teases you and people roll their eyes. You're gonna see it even more. You're gonna see it more. Get used to it. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. My thing is I want to bring people together. I want to know if what I'm saying sounds absolutely crazy to you, that you can still have unconditional love and still be a part of this family and be like, yeah, I can look into his eyes and see that he's a good kid, that he's a good person, that I come from a good home and I have good intention. Because again, when we were kids, we didn't know what division was. We just liked things or we didn't. I want to know if you can just hang out and agree to disagree. And I want to know if you can be around people that don't agree with you all the way. And if you can find common ground and be that leader and be that person to bring people together. There's a very, very, very different way to live. And I'm telling you, there's going to be more fear and more division. So it's on you to find your truth and find your definition, to find your ingredients so you can enjoy your life. All right? So again, the theme of this stream, the stream theme, right, is what is something in your life that you can redefine, that you can reinterpret, that you don't like, whether it's a relationship with your mom or your dad, or your romantic relationship or lack thereof with yourself, with your friends, with like, how can you enjoy how can you develop your character from what you're going through? How can you be grateful that you are learning lessons for this really difficult thing that you're going through right now? Hmm? Hey, what's up, Minerva? Nice to see you. What's something that you can look at in your life and say, well, this isn't going according to plan. However, I can just have faith and know that it's being remixed and reinterpreted for me to have something better. Thank you, La Loca. Thank you. Yeah, we need to get Jen to go on live more too. The struggle is real. No, the struggle is theory. The struggle is theory. The struggle is theory. Struggle is theory. That's something we can definitely reinterpret. Can you join me on this journey? Like what is struggle? Why are you struggling with it? Why are you struggling with it? Because you have to put an effort? Because there's patience required? The journey is real. Word. Absolutely. A struggle is a made-up word. A struggle is a concept. A struggle implies that you don't know what you're doing. But who does? Who does know what they're doing? Who knows what they're doing on planet Earth? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? You think the quote unquote people who are labeled as elites, you think they know? Well, according to one theory, they've already seen all the different outcomes, and no matter how hard they try, they can't change it, and we're still going to win, and good is still going to triumph. They don't even know what they're doing. The people who are really, really good at making money because there's no emotions in money, but when it comes to actual personal relationships and development, that's impossible because there's actual effort required to be vulnerable. They don't know what they're doing. They just know how to moisturize and present themselves and to have teams and to assemble teams. Everything is a lesson. I like it that way. Don't you want to grow? Don't you want to see what else is possible? And you think you can't because you have a handful of people? Tell me your problem. I'll tell you the solution. What to do if you get visits and they give you assignments. Don't apologize for asking a question. There's nothing wrong with that. What to do if you get visits and they give you assignments, then follow those assignments. I got shown 2 years ago who I am, and it felt absolutely crazy. connect with any beings or any light beings or just get downloads or channeled messages and be like, are you serious? I had stuff around like November, December, October, like that time period that were like, are you sure? Are you serious? This is me. This isn't some made up thing. I'm not crazy. I'm not out of my mind. Like, I saw some stuff that's absolutely crazy. I mean, look at what I'm doing. I'm in Nevada. I've never consistently stayed in Nevada before. I was living in New York. I was fine hustling and building in Manhattan. I absolutely get messages. I get stuff that tells me to pack up my bags and everything's gonna work out. I'm like, are you sure? New location, no network, no money, no car. What's the solution for that? Well, education. You can meditate, you can map out, you can journal. I mean, you have reception right now. You can take the moments where you do have reception and you can educate yourself. You can take free digital courses. You can get certified for something. You can use TikTok as a search engine instead of just hashtags. There's plenty of solutions. Life is telling you to focus on yourself right now. We're gonna do a quick meditation a little bit to answer your question. We'll see how I'm feeling. There's solutions for everything. No matter answer me this question. Answer me this question and see if you can actually come up with the real answer. And it might be the very first split second. Then after that, it's gonna feel crazy. Why are you exactly where you're supposed to be? See what pops up right now. Why are you exactly where you're supposed to be? And let me know. Drop a comment. Let me know. Speak it into existence. Why are you exactly where you're supposed to be? Let me know. To help others, because good stuff is on the way. Hey, Lacey, nice to see you. Because I put myself here, because I'm here, not anywhere else, because this is where I'm meant to be, to learn about myself, because I have to learn this, to learn, to mature, to grow, to evolve. So then can you take that with you for the rest of your experience until you get another belief and another perspective? So this is where, so now that you're understanding that the common theme is that we're all here to learn, to grow, to evolve, right? So then anytime that you get frustrated, isn't it fair to say that that's part of the equation? Good, bad, up, down, in, out, yin, yang, all of that is to help you grow and to evolve. It's not just this is attractive and this is pretty and this is fun and this is exciting. Everything that's happening right now, because this is your truth that you're aware of. So now you take that with you for the rest of your life until you get a different perspective. Like, I convinced myself, I told myself that me living in the projects, me working as a bathroom attendant, me traveling an hour and a half round trip to go to a job where I was literally mopping floors in a nightclub, that all of that was to give me success. I convinced myself of that. And it wasn't forced and it wasn't cheesy. It was from a real space. I sat down with it until I believed it. I told myself every choice I make is the right one. As a mantra, as a motto that took me to that place. I told myself I now know what I'm doing and I don't need other people's advice unless I truly do need their advice and I know the difference and I'm going to take responsibility. I told myself that I'm not going to feel frustrated that other people are fearful and insecure. I'm going to know that I know what I'm doing even when it looks like I don't. I'm going to remember every single time somebody complimented me about my personality, my energy, my aura, my state of being naturally who I am. And I'm going to convince myself that there are more people out there like that when I'm in more gratitude for myself. And I'm going to take responsibility before I walk out the door to make sure that I'm in that state of mind. And if I'm not in that state of mind, I'm going to do whatever it takes before I have a conversation with somebody because I know how powerful I am. and you can do the exact same thing in your own way. Do I believe in soul contracts? Absolutely. I believe we can change them too. I believe some people in your life are not honoring their soul contracts. I believe there are some people in your life, you've been doing the work and they just don't want to leave. You know? I took that with me. I took that perspective with me of being optimistic, of being hopeful, of being honest with myself, of being true to myself, of knowing my momentum, honoring my process. I wanted to see what it was like for the first time in my life in over 30 years where I actually know that I know what I'm doing. And I love where it's taken me. How do we get through betrayal and burn with money from an ex? Well, there's legal things you can do to get your money back. If you're frustrated by them, then honor your anger. Honor your frustration. That's what I did. Honor the fact that you're annoyed. Admit to yourself that you're frustrated. Admit that you're angry. And remove the resentment from what they did and tell yourself, okay, so we are going to make the changes. We are going to clean things up. We know what we're doing now. We're not going to allow people like that into our lives anymore. We are self-aware. We love having help. We don't need help. We're not victims. We're going to educate ourselves. We're going to go post on forums. We're going to look up legal TikTok, lawyers of TikTok. We're going to go on places like Reddit. We're going to join Facebook groups. We're going to see what our legal options are. We're going to move forward. We're going to do more healing. We're going to do stuff like breath work, like Wim Hof, WIM space HOF. We're going to do different things like meditation, mindfulness, mapping out, practicing our awareness, practicing and focusing on a different perspective. We're going to process our emotions before we get around other people. We're going to know that we know what we're doing now. We're going to give ourselves permission to fall in love with ourselves and not have an opinion on other people's opinions about us. You are the problem and you are the solution. It's not anybody else. It doesn't get perfect. It doesn't stop happening. You just get more tools and more perspective, and then you take that with you or don't. Free will. What a concept. Because there's always going to be people who are frustrated. There's somebody on here right now who just doesn't like me and has to crack a joke because they're insecure when a man talks about his feelings. What am I going to do with that information? Stop what I'm doing because somebody doesn't like themselves? Yeah, so hold on, let me see. Don't envy me, envy yourself. Luna Tuna, let me see. I paid off a car and saved him. Okay. Okay. So what lesson did you learn from that? Not to overextend yourself? To ask different questions to see what that person is like? To love yourself more? Trust me, 2016 was a crazy year. Crazy. You saw that BS too? Yeah, people just hate themselves. They're miserable. What am I going to do with that information? Look at that. You got people offering you help right now. It's the power of vulnerability. Should you be vulnerable with your girlfriend or wife? Absolutely. Like, that's connection. The whole reason you're connecting with me, this is vulnerability. Is this a weakness? Am I weak because I know who I am and I have a different perspective? I removed, yeah, sure. I have trauma from my childhood. I was taken advantage of. I went through difficult things a child shouldn't go through. Should I be ashamed and hold my head down and think that I'm not a man because that happened to me? Something that I couldn't control? Should I hate my life because I was bullied and told that I was too this way or too that way or didn't fit in with anybody? Should I be a victim because I was in an abusive relationship? How should my life be? How should my life occur? How should my life appear? Does that make you seem weak in their eyes? If it does, then goodbye. If it does, then adios. I don't have time to be around people that don't like who I naturally am. You fell in love with me as I am. You saw that whether you or not you were aware of it or not. This is who I am. I love myself. The part of you that the part of me that you like is connected to the part of me you don't. If you don't like this part of me on this side, then you definitely don't like that side of me. You think that you like me, you think that you love me this way. No, you don't, because if you love me this way, you would understand this part is connected to this and this and this and this and this and this and this. It's all correlated. Like, I cannot live in a world where I can't be myself. Like, the hardest thing to be on planet Earth is yourself. The hardest thing to be is you, because everybody's going to tell you to change. There's somebody on here telling me to clean this room. I'm like, okay, cool. Should I change my hat too? Should I put on some, should I moisturize a little bit more? Should I change my outfit? Should I talk? Should my tone of voice be differently? Should I have grown up in a different neighborhood? Should I take speech classes? Should I move my hands in a different way while I'm talking? What can I do in order for you to love yourself more? What can I do in order for every single person on here to feel good with who they are? How can I do that? People, as soon as you get the people around you that don't like you to like you, there's going to be a new group of people that are going to have opinions about you. I'm telling you, I want for you to get this. Thank you, Kimber. How do you completely be yourself all the time? Like, okay, so for example, when I wake up, if I don't like how I feel, then I communicate that and I do something about it. I do some form of practice before I'm having business calls and networking and making money and integrating with other people's lives. If I feel jittery, if I feel shaky, if I feel unwanted energy in my body, I do something about that, whether that's meditation or exercise or music or dancing or supplements or going outside and staring into the sun or whatever. I do something to get myself into a state of gratitude. and I just know that I'm a good person. I consciously choose to be a good person. I choose to be a good person. So you change or make sacrifices. Should you change or make sacrifices for a relationship? You should compromise in a relationship. You should compromise. But don't change who you are unless you genuinely don't like that part about yourself. And in that case, you change for yourself. Because then otherwise you won't recognize yourself. The way that I stay good within my own skin is I just, again, like I just feel like I've been through enough. Like, haven't you been through enough? Like, haven't you been through enough judgment? Aren't you tired of people putting you down? Like, aren't you tired of being insecure? Aren't you tired of doubting yourself? Like, isn't that exhausting? Like, isn't it frustrating that you're in a good mood and you get an email about your finances or about a bill or about a human or a text message or a phone call from somebody threatening you or family members telling you that they're going to do something to themselves if you don't take care of themselves, or people that are abusing you mentally or verbally? Like, isn't aren't you starting to realize that they're just not going to change and they don't want to change, and they just feel like there's nothing wrong with them and that you're the problem? And you're like, okay, got you. Like, isn't that exhausting? Isn't it annoying? Like, you've never had full momentum. You've never seen your full momentum. You've never seen what's possible for you. You've never given yourself the chance, the opportunity to. Don't you want to see what that's like? How do you reverse misalignment in the body? Quantum healing is just knowing that I'm healed and just being patient with that and just strengthening my belief. It's being able to truly believe that you're aligned. Quantum healing is speaking health and knowing everything's working in your favor. Love that, Kimber. Yeah, that's a good point right there. You can screenshot that and take that note. Whose energy is this? Like, what's giving you the reaction that you're having? Why are you having the reaction that you're having? Right? The most beautiful thing about being alive is you can believe whatever you want to. You can believe whatever you want to about your life. You can. You can believe whatever you want to about your circumstances. You can believe this is the perfect time for you, that you're going to level up. You can be the narrator in your book that says this is the part of the book where the character changes their life around. You can erase the part of your character's description that says addiction and just says insecurity. You can stop telling people that you've been clean for a year or for 6 months or for 10 years and just know that you've been clean after the doctor wiped you off when you came into the world from the hospital. From your mama. Right? Like, you can reinterpret everything. You can just know that everything's working in your favor. You can just it's actually really simple. It's just a matter of checking in with yourself more to be like, no, we committed to this belief. We committed to this is our belief. This is our belief. It doesn't matter that they don't like our belief. This is our belief. It's my belief. It's my boundary. I like who I am. I love who I am. My boundary is that I choose to be around people who love me as I am. I'd rather be alone than be around people who just like my energy, but they get insecure and attack me when I don't give them attention. No. People struggle with definitions of themselves. So redefine yourself. What's a definition that you talk about where every time you talk about it, there's a level of frustration? For most people, it's addiction. And again, I've never dealt with substance addiction. It's just my family members did. My dad did. I saw where that took them. And so like, and I've been around people who are addicts, and I've been around people who are addicted to looking good and avoiding looking bad. I've met people who are addicted to showing that they donate more for charities than their neighbors in the Hamptons. Like, please. What's up, Tommy? What's the question? I love rock bottom because that's where everything turns around. Do you feel that they sense your energy and they can't understand it? Absolutely. 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 Most people don't know what to do with your energy. They're teachers. That's for you to show us. Your job on planet Earth is to tell us who you are. Tell your story. Tell your story. Hey, Jeanette, nice to see you. Tell your story. I love when I hit the rock bottom because I was like, oh, okay, like you see clearly when you build your character. I look back at that point and I'm like, man, it feels like I've had two different lifetimes in this life. But yeah, what's your if you have a if somebody had a question, you have a question, ask a question because it's hard for me to focus on all the comments. I just want for you to get that you know what you're doing and you always have. Let me see. Is this it? Please tell me a great way to handle fear for changing your life and your job. Please tell me a great way to please tell me a great way handling fear. Okay. So, when you wake up, before you get out of bed, you map. You map out. You focus. You say, okay, how do I want for, regardless of what happens in my life, what perspective do I want to have? So you can see an end goal where you see your home, you see where you're living, you see your living circumstances, you see how good that feels, you see yourself as healthy, successful, in a loving circumstance, whatever that looks like for you. The secret for me, the turning point is telling myself, no matter what happens, life is taking me to this place. So you let go of control. When you go for the new job, when you go for the job interview, when you go into new circumstances, you reinterpret the scene. So before you get around other people, you tell yourself, you say, okay, Tommy, for example, for you, and for me, Nikki, okay, every single person that you come across today is blown away by the fact that you're here. If you even breathe, they're going to be so impressed by your breathing because you're that powerful. They love your energy. They love your presence. They've already bought tickets to your show. So whatever you have to say, they're just going to love it. And if they don't like it, if they don't love it, they're not your people. It's a game. Find your people. Go out there and find your people and show the world who you are. That's fun. That's exciting for me. And like Jen says right there, letting go of control is a big thing. Just telling yourself, that's why I like mapping out. That's why I like to say, okay, you know what? I want to know that no matter what happens, that I'm getting success. I want to be consistent with myself. And because I know my strengths and I know what I'm learning, what I'm developing, now I'm not ashamed of who I am. I want to love my process. I want to love my insecurities. I want to know that the job that I have is deliberately chosen. I want to know that I'm intentional. I want to know that where I'm going, there's hope and that there's a possibility that I can grow and I can learn and I can evolve. So I'm just going to tell myself that when you work like you own the company, the right people will see you. When you don't complain, the right people will see you. When you have an optimistic perspective on yourself, the right people will see you. It's just a matter of being patient with yourself and let the other people be miserable. And the more that you level up, the more those miserable people are going to bring you down. Don't do that. That's stupid. That's dumb. Come here. Suffer with me. Struggle with me. Struggle with me. Struggle with me. You have a hard time with control because you went through an issue in your childhood where you had to control your life and you had to be strong because somebody did something to you that they shouldn't have done, or they said something that they shouldn't have said. And so you told yourself that you have to protect yourself. And so we get stomach issues and we have issues with our gut health and we don't manifest and we block ourselves from success because we have to control everything. And if something doesn't look exactly the way that we're used to, that we're familiar with, we say, I don't like that thing. That thing's going to hurt me. And that's why if we've grown up in struggling and suffering and addiction and pain and all these other theories that take us to a limiting place, dead end road, that when success and peace comes our way, we're going to say, I don't like this. This doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before. I should destroy this. I should walk away from this. This makes my skin crawl. This is cheesy. This is stupid. Happy people are cheesy. Oh, they're so annoying. They're so cringy. How do you not let jealous people bring you down? Because I understand that they're miserable. And I take that with me for the rest of my life. I just know that they're not happy. And that has nothing to do with me. I've met people who are jealous before. I've seen their lives, I've seen their circumstances. I'm not going to take people who are jealous, who are angry, who are frustrated, who are ungrateful seriously. Like, I'm not going to take advice from them. I'm not going to live my life for them. They don't get my process. I had people telling me to work at McDonald's when I was doing this part-time. I'm like, work at McDonald's? That's where we're going? That's how you see me? That's how you value me? Oh, that's how you value yourself. Oh. The person who told me I think that I'm better than other people is living in poverty. Everything of hers is always breaking. She's frustrated. She's a compulsive liar. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Miserable, unhappy, frustrated. Couldn't take me down with her. Couldn't take me to that place of struggle with me and suffer with me so that I don't have to actually take responsibility. People want to bring you down to give themselves the impression that they're up because they see your brilliance. They see your resilience. They see your light. They know who you are. You just haven't seen who you are because you've been hustled. That's why we love thinking differently and critically thinking and changing our perspectives and reinterpreting. Word. Right. It's different. There's a different way to do this. When people are jealous, I know that's because they don't want to take responsibility for themselves and do the work. That's fine. Enjoy that. I did that before. I'm good on this side. I love my momentum. I love taking chances. Most people right now have anxiety in public. You say you can't get over the horrible anxiety in public. That's where I like to, that's where I, again, how can you make, so good awareness, right? Good awareness. So how can you turn it into a game? First things first, I feel like when you step outside, you have to protect your energy. I've become, as an empath, like my ability to pick up on people's energy has become bonkers. Like, it is wild to me how much I can pick up on people's energy. So I just know that I'm protected. I just put the protection around me. I just know it to be true. And then from there, again, I tell myself, like when I was living in Manhattan, every single person who is around me is blown away by my presence. They see who I am. They see my energy, my love, and my light, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that he's here. If he does anything, if he even breathes, I'm gonna be impressed." I just tell myself that because otherwise, I get social anxiety. And I feel like people are judging and staring at me, and I go into full introvert mode. I turn it into a game. Thank you, Sister Travel. Thank you. It's different. It's different. It's different. I want to enjoy my life. I want to be able to walk outside and to enjoy it. And again, that's why I left Manhattan, because every single time when I walked outside, I'm like, man, even when I do this, I feel like I'm Batman and Gotham City. Word, Rob, just turn it into a game. If you have headphones, put some headphones on in your phone so you can listen to classical music and just be like, oh, how interesting. Everybody has so much anxiety. And just see what you can do with your energy. Like for me, another thing that I did, hey, what's going on? Thank you for the love from New York. I'm in Nevada right now. So another thing that I did, um, let me see, where was I going with that? That part of it's making it a game, and another part of it is just being able to see what can you do with your energy. Like for me, what I started doing is I started visualizing other people looking at me and seeing my energy. And I visualized, like, I started being able to, when I was walking around Manhattan, that I could actually move people out of my way by projecting my aura, my energy out there, just doing experiments with it. So you can, everything can be a game. Like if you work at a job that you don't like, if you're a cashier, for example, you can put the energy of love into the money and hand that person that money and hand them love and just visualize them feeling that love and saying thank you. You can do that. Make it a game. By the way, for this comment right here, I hope both of you are in the Discord, which is in my bio link. You can join the Discord, be friends. You can phone call each other, video chat with each other without giving away your personal information. Do you see the difference? All that I do is I reinterpret. That's all that I do. I don't like how I feel, I reinterpret it. But it's not instantaneous. It takes time. Just have patience. Thank you. Thank you. I love you too. Thank you, Tams. Have a good Sunday. Take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. So I just want for you to get that there's a different way. Without my curiosity, I'm going to be miserable. Without my curiosity, I'm going to fall back into needing validation from other people. If I need validation from people, I'm never going to figure out my life. If I need other people to approve the choices, the chances, the things that I'm doing, I'm never going to make it. Thank you. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you. I just want for you to see what it's like to really, really, really believe in yourself and to have your momentum and to realize, like, who's defining you. Thank you, Tommy. Who's defining you? Where are you getting your definition from? Why don't you like your physical appearance? Why don't you like something about yourself? Why are you frustrated with your circumstances? Why? You're going to start to realize that you're choosing chaos. You're choosing to be addicted to you not being good enough. And it's a weird game. It's a weird game. People do this thing of like that it's cute to be humble and it's cute to be small and it's cute to struggle and it's like this cute Romeo and Juliet like look at how much I'm struggling and I'm suffering thing. But why? If you really listen to your beliefs and the people around you, if you listen to their beliefs, you would realize like I really need to set boundaries and I need to distance myself. That's definitely what's up. Before I'm just gonna call you Epiphany. I love that because I'm the same way. I hated my physical appearance. I hated my physical image. I hated the way that I looked. I was teased. I was bullied. I was put down. I was told, you have a big head. Your skin's really white. You look weird. You look like an alien. You don't belong here. Why, like being the quote unquote white family in the hood, like all these different things. I never felt like I fit in. It's exhausting. You can heal yourself just as much as you can harm yourself. And again, if you're putting yourself down, if your mom, if your dad, if society, if people are frustrating you and you keep on feeling like you can't speak up and that you have to be quiet and that you can't tell people how you really feel and somebody doesn't give you attention, you go to, oh, of course, I'm all alone and you're not communicating with anybody. You're doing all of that. You're choosing all of that. All of it. All of it. You're choosing all of it. You're allowing that over and over and over and over again. Sometimes people don't even feel like it's possible to have happiness because they've been down for so long. And it's just like, yo, like you just, what's the first step? Just start acknowledging yourself. Acknowledge yourself right now for being on this live stream. Like you could be doing anything right now when you're talking with somebody where you're like, I want to level up. I want to know if there's more for me. We're choosing our interpretations. We're choosing our perspectives. We're choosing to react to people. We're choosing to listen to people who are miserable telling us to join their misery party. Misery loves company. We're choosing to stay in the relationship thinking we don't have any options. We're choosing to put down our age, our weight, our bank account, our balance, our life, our breath, our thoughts, our natural way of living when we chose all of this. We're choosing all of it. We're allowing all of it. Every single part of it. So again, if you don't like it, what can you change? What perspective can you give yourself that feels real, that's not forced? How can you convince yourself that everything's working in your favor? You can do it. It's not cheesy. And if you think that it's cheesy, that's trauma. Look up thewisdomoftrauma.com. Go to that website. Watch that documentary with Dr. Gabor Mate. Watch his documentary about trauma, and watch it with somebody in your life who might have PTSD or trauma. Thewisdomoftrauma.com. I love the energy in here too. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you. I just want for you to get. I'm gonna hop off in a little bit. We're just gonna do a quick breathing exercise. I want for you to get that it's not cheesy for you to know that you're where you're supposed to be. That right now, a lot of us are unlearning a lot. We're unlearning a lot. We are unlearning in order to learn a new way. And remember this, please, 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 please take this as a note. Nobody told me after 18 years old that I can parent myself. Nobody told me after 18 years old I can parent myself. I can create my own perspective. I can create my own truth. I can be more colorful. I can be more vibrant. I can be more expressed. I can be brighter. I can show more color, more personality. This relationship, this person, this family member who tells me to be quiet, that's their life. I don't like being that way. People love me. People like my personality. People like what I have to say. Do you relate? Did you forget that? Have you forgotten that? Have you forgotten that people really like you naturally as you are? Because you've been down for a little while and that's starting to become your new norm? Did you forget that people like you? Did you forget that you were optimistic before? Have you lost track with that part of yourself? Did you used to dance? Did you used to sing? Did you used to play? Did you used to be hopeful? You think you can't have that? What's the next move? You're the leader, you're the teacher. You're parenting yourself, you're choosing everything. What is the perspective? What's going to take you to the place where you enjoy your life? Do you want to be the senior citizen who's frustrated because your food is undercooked or overcooked? Or do you want to be the senior citizen, the grandpa or the grandma that people walk by and see the twinkle in their eye? My lifetime dedication is to be that grandpa that when you walk by, you naturally smile. You're like, yo, that old man's on point. Happiness is a choice. Happiness is a choice. Happiness is a choice. And it's not always the easiest choice. However, it is always available. I can be grateful for the lessons, grateful for my character, grateful for the building stuff that I'm going through. I can be grateful for the fact that I'm tired of being tired. I'm going to do something about it. I can be happy that I'm removing people from my life because better people are coming. I can be happy that of everybody showing their true colors. I can say thank God because better people are coming. I can do all of that, can't you? Can't you? What can you change your perspective about? Do I have kids? Not yet. I've been told I'm going to very soon, though. How do you respond to with love to a teen who is full of negative emotions? I would give them this concept that maybe they won't hear in the moment. However, they will think about it. From birth until 7, we're in a trance. We experience something somewhere around that time period that's very difficult. Take this as a note. From birth until 7, you're in a trance. More or less 7 years old. You're in a trance. You don't know what spirituality is. You don't know what religion is. You don't know that it's wrong to be angry. You don't know that people have opinions about you. And then what happens is something difficult happens, something frustrating happens. Something where somebody leaves, somebody dies, somebody puts you down, somebody says something that's mean, that's hurtful, that's harmful. And then what happens is in this honorable process of life, of being a human, is we start to interpret it, and that becomes our story. And we say, because this person did this thing, that means this is how I am. Because they did this thing, because this person said this thing to me, I am now this way. I am this way. I am this way. I am that way. Life is this way. Life is that way. Life is this way, life is that way. Because this thing happened, that means this, and this means that, and that means that. And I am this way, and people are this way because of that occurrence. And then what we do is we go around validating that over and over and over again. That's why some people get frustrated when there's a red light, and that's why some people are grateful because they're being protected. And when you see people who don't match your belief system, you roll your eyes and you think that they're stupid, and you think that they're wrong, and you think that they're dumb because they don't agree with you that life is hard and life is difficult, or people are this way and people are that way. And when you really become aware of it, when you really tune into it, you can start to change your story and see that you're overreacting and that you're choosing a lot of chaos. So you're choosing to give attention to a lot of chaos. You're choosing to focus on fear. You're choosing to tell yourself that nobody understands you, when in fact you don't understand yourself. So you can choose your story. You can reinterpret your story. And it's okay to be angry. It's fine to be angry. It makes sense. Of course you've been angry because nobody's ever really taken time to give you the rules to who you are. It's not okay to take out your anger on other people. It makes sense that you're angry. You haven't been able to process your emotions. Life doesn't have to make sense. However, I want for you to understand, even if you never see me again, even if everything else that you've ever heard from me sounds like a bunch of corny, cheesy, cliched nonsense, that when you get around people and you don't like how you feel and you're tired and you feel unloved and unwanted, you can change the genre of movie you're watching. You can change the story. You're the producer, you're the director, you're the casting director, you're the star. You can press pause, you can press stop, and you can change your perspective, and you can change the story anytime you want to. You can change your belief systems about what you're going through. You can start to catch every single time where your brain says, I can't tell people this thing, and you can nudge that part of you to communicate and to express yourself and to speak up. Thank you. It might feel a little cheesy. It might feel a little uncomfortable at first, and then it's not going to make sense to think that way. You're not going to look back. It makes sense to be angry because your whole entire life you were told not to show your feelings and not to express yourself, and that good people don't ever get angry and good people don't ever get frustrated. Well, you can change that belief. I know plenty of good people who get angry, who are really good people. all the Martin Luther Kings of this world, all the other people, because there's good and badness within everybody. Like Mother Teresa wasn't a perfect saint. There's some dirt in her laundry. Gandhi, thank you. Great person. Still angry. John Lennon, definitely not a perfect person. But they did some good things for this world. They brought some goodness into this world. They were angry. That's how they were able to speak up. That's the only reason why you know about them, because they got angry. Good people get angry. So, what can you reinterpret? All right. Jesus got angry. Word. How do you get over that? How do you get over that? It's just being able to catch yourself. Thank you for the gifts. It's just being able to catch yourself. Like, you just got to just check in with yourself to say, I'm doing that thing that I don't like. Map out your life. I'm going to have worksheets very soon for mapping, for you to map out to get from point A to point B. Like, you just got to sit down and just have conversations with yourself. Be curious. Why do I keep on going to this place? Why do I keep on? Thank you. Thank you. Why do I keep on interpreting my life this way? How can I reinterpret? How can I reinterpret? How can I change my belief about this thing? Why do I give so much power to this person? Why does this person annoy me? Why is it I was just in a good mood and they said one thing and now I'm not? Why is that? Why is that? That's insecurity. So one thing that I'll leave you with, and then we're going to do this breath work. Very simple. Is that if you're insecure, that's where you give away your power. If you are angry, you're insecure. Do I speak positive affirmations over my life, over my water, over the coffee I drink, over the food that I eat? Yes, absolutely. If you're angry, you're insecure. And you can do powerful things with your anger. But if you're insecure, you don't know who you are. If you knew who you were, you wouldn't get angry if that person told you that you're stupid, because you're not stupid. You just work differently. If you were secure, you wouldn't care that people look at you and judge you based off of your weight, because you would know that there's nothing wrong with your weight. In fact, you should study the history of humanity to see that there were times if you were skinny that they were like, what's wrong with you? You should eat some butter for lunch and for breakfast and for dinner. Like, why are you not curvy? What's wrong with you? If you don't like who you are, then you're insecure. And it's a very simple, powerful thing you can take with you to say, like, I should be able to live in my own skin with my weight, with my physical features, with my teeth, with my hair, with everything that you have. You want more for yourself, but you don't appreciate what you have. Like if you were a parent and your child said that they wanted a toy, and every single time that you got them a toy, they broke the toy, would you get them another toy? Or would you want to make sure that they're not going to break their toys anymore? In that same way, you're breaking yourself. You're bending yourself. You're bending over backwards for people that aren't matching your energy. You're frustrated that nobody's